In order to solve this puzzle, you will need to know the concept of key squares, and I'm going to show you that now. So, a key square is a square which, if occupied by your king, will always result in a win. For this position, the key squares are d4, e4, and f4. If the pawn was, for example, on d3, the squares would be here. If it was on c4, the squares would be here. But if it was on the 5th rank, the squares are all of these. And this does not work for the h or a pawns. With this knowledge, you can try to solve this puzzle yourself, and if you can't, we'll look at it together. Okay, so obviously we are going to, at some point, lose these pawns. We can't try to save them, because black would simply take all of them, and as you can see, he is on a key square. So this is not the solution to the puzzle. The correct move is g6, sacrificing the pawn to waste. And if black takes with the king, then we will be able to save the pawn, and this is just a dead draw. And if black instead takes with the f-pawn, we will play f5, sacrificing another pawn. You might be also asking, what if black does not take the pawn? What if he, for example, goes king to g5? Well, here we simply push the pawn, and he once again doesn't get to these squares ever. And if he, for example, goes g5, here we don't really care, we can do a lot of things. We simply can move the king, and he really cannot do anything. He has to go g4 to get that pawn, and he's not ever getting to any of these key squares. We're just gonna push and win the pawn back. Now, if g takes f5, we won't ever go on the 2nd rank. At least if black doesn't go on the 4th rank. We will go g1, because if we went on, for example, g2, black would get here, and he has opposition, so he would get on a key square. So instead, we have to play king to g1, and black cannot ever go to the 4th rank, because we would have opposition, and once again he would not be able to get to any of these key squares. So he might try king to g5, and now don't blunder, we have to go king to f1. And now black does not win only because he cannot occupy the f5 square, because he already has a pawn there. If he could go to f5, he would outflank us, and we would even lose this game. But because he can't go to f5, because he's got a pawn there, we are not losing, and this is just a draw. Because whenever black steps in front, we just get the opposition, and there's nothing else to do. If black tries to go here, we simply go here, and if he goes there, we have the opposition, and if he goes here, we just win the pawn. And that's all. Thanks for watching the video, and see you in the next one.